Good afternoon. My name is Brian Grzymkowski. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Graduate Admissions here at William Paterson University. I want to take the time to thank all of you for joining us for our webinar today for our MA in English. I'm joined here by Dr. Kaur, who's going to be speaking at length about the program. Obviously, a lot of information in hopefully a relatively short amount of time. This is a newer medium for us, and it's our hope that this is a helpful way for you, whether you find yourself on your couch, at the office, wherever you may be, your smartphone, tablet, laptop, etc. We want this to be a way for you to learn about our program. But I want to stress it's no substitute for a visit to campus, the chance to meet our program director face-to-face to talk about your interests and talk a little bit further about the program. So I can't stress enough, if you do like what you hear, if you are interested in learning more about our program, we do have an open house that's coming up on February the 26th. You will be receiving an email invitation for that event if you haven't already, so can't stress enough. If you do have some time on that day, if you are able to come to campus for a bit, for one, it's a great chance to see the campus for yourself if you haven't. Also, it's a great chance to meet Dr. Kaur in person, and then certainly to talk further about your interests, your application, whatever you might want to discuss further. So certainly keep that as a save the date in the back of your mind. The other thing I want to make sure that you're aware is we are recording the session as we go through. So if you have to leave a little bit early for one reason or another, we understand there's family, busy schedules, work, etc. I wanted to stress that you are going to be able to refer back to all of the information here, so certainly feel free to be hands-free, not feel the need to jot notes as you go through. And then the other thing I want to make sure you're aware is we are going to be doing a question and answer session at the end of our presentation. If you are able to join us for the entirety of our presentation, do feel free to hold your questions until the end. If you need to step away early for one reason or another, you can type your question in the chat box there, and a member of the Graduate Admissions Office will see to your question and make sure that you leave here with the information that you need to. So again, you are going to be getting an email further down the line with a link to our YouTube channel where we'll have this recording. But I know you're not here to listen to me talk at length. You're here to hear Dr. Kaur talk about her program. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kaur. Take it away.
Thank you, Brian, for that introduction. Hello all, and thank you for joining us for the webinar. I wanted to speak to you about the MA in English. We offer a very supportive and collegial environment for graduate students. It's a small program with very intimate relations between the student body and the students and faculty. We prepare you for careers in law, in public relations, in any field really that requires critical thinking and writing skills. Many of our students also go on to join doctoral programs, so if that is your inclination, we can equip you to be successful in those fields. The program itself, the Master of Arts, is a 33-credit program, and we offer 2 concentrations in literature and writing, you can, you can choose to specialize in any of those. The requirements are different, as the slides will tell you. The classes are in the evening from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Monday through Thursday. We also offer online courses and courses over the summer. They're small classes, as I mentioned earlier. Just the maximum size of a class is 14 usually, and usually the classes are actually even smaller than that, between anywhere between 8 to 10 students. For those of you who are looking for graduate assistantships as a way to build your resume, as a way to defray some of the costs of attending college, we offer graduate assistantships as well. They have a stipend of $6,000. Achieving a graduate assistantship means that you don't have to pay tuition fees as well, and GAs are usually matriculated full-time students, and they work on campus for 20 hours a week, September to June. The requirements are, we just recently revised revised the course last year. So the program of study is calculated now to move you through quickly in order to finish the whole program in 2 years. So we've done away with a lot of required courses and have made the program flexible for you to attend, classes of your choice. So for instance, at the moment, there are only 2 required courses. A portal course that's a modes of criticism course, and a final capstone course, which is the research and thesis seminar course that you do at the end of the end of your course of study. 2 courses in British literature, 2 in American literature, a course in global literature, and then 6 courses of your choice, whatever you'd like to study, depending on your interest or specialization. For the MA in Writing, the requirements are 4 required courses, that is Creative Writing 1 and 2, Contemporary Modes of Criticism, which is the same as the literature students, and then again the Research and Thesis Seminar, which again you do at the end of your course of study here. 4 writing elective courses such as Fiction and Poetry seminars, Creative Nonfiction, and Travel Writing seminars. And then finally 3 literature courses, and you can choose to do these from American, British, or global literatures. We offer a variety of courses depending on the faculty who's offering that particular course that semester, depending on what his or her interest is and what the students are interested in. So every time the courses are different, even if it's falls within the purview of the American or the global literature or the American literature program. At the end of the program, whether you're a literature or a writing major, you write a thesis. It's written during the last semester of your study, and you work closely with a thesis advisor while participating in a weekly workshop. For literature students, students establish a clearly defined area of literary study incorporating primary, secondary, and contemporary critical sources. So you identify over the course of the 33 credits that you're taking, what is it that you're really interested in writing? Maybe a particular writer piqued your interest in a particular course, and then you see connections with that writer in another course. You can develop your thesis idea in consultation with your faculties, and especially your faculty advisor who you'll be working with very closely. MA writing students write typically a 75 pages and more manuscript that demonstrates advanced writing skills. It could be in fiction, in drama, non-fiction, such genres as a memoir, a biography, or even critical essays. You could write a manuscript on screenwriting or journalism. For poetry students who want to write a manuscript in poetry, we require a 40-plus page manuscript of poems. We have a very distinguished and accomplished faculty. Our location here in the New York area, metro area, allows us to attract the best of faculty in the field. We have faculty in critical writing, creative writing, and literature and linguistics. You can see the names up on your screen. You can also find out more about the specialization of these faculty members through the English department webpage, which has profiles of all the faculty. I just want to stress that we offer a really nice mix of traditional courses as well as very cutting-edge, innovative courses that allow you to think ahead for higher graduate studies. That is, if you're interested in a PhD, or if you're a teacher already working at a school, then we just deepen your knowledge of those particular writers and fields, so you go back to your classroom as a more accomplished and a more knowledgeable teacher to your students. So what do you need for an application? Really very simple. a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university, a cumulative GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale in the undergraduate major, a minimum of 450 on the verbal portion of the GRE, and a 4.5 on the analytical portion of the GRE. Or if you're not taking the GRE, we also accept the Miller test, and you need to have a score of 400 on that test. You would require 2 letters of recommendation that speak to your academic qualifications and your qualifications for higher studies generally. You would need to write an essay, what is typically called a statement of purpose, so an essay of 500 to 750 words, and it could address any of the following questions. For instance, what led you to apply to the graduate program in English at Paterson University? What are your personal reasons for pursuing an advanced degree in literature? And maybe why are you engaged, if that's something that you want to speak about, which allows us to assess you as a student and your interest in an MA, why are you engaged by a particular issue, a book, or an idea. So really a lot of leeway in writing that statement of purpose or your personal essay. It can be a mix of the informal, just we want to get an idea of what sort of a student you are and how equipped you are to pursue a graduate degree. Finally, students with a limited background in English can be admitted, but we may require that you take additional courses with the approval of the graduate program director, and that would be me. Right, now, why should you choose Paterson University for graduate studies? As I said, we are a great department. It's a very collegial department, a close-knit community of students and faculty. We have small class sizes. It's a very friendly learning environment. We have faculty who are willing to go, above and beyond their duties to help you, to engage you, to hear you out when you have problems, to guide you to further resources in whatever area that you're looking to research. We believe strongly in advancing your career. We have a very good track record of placing our students. If you pass out, once you finish your graduate degree, we help you out. We professionalize you by placing you as an adjunct faculty in our university itself, so you get an idea of what it feels like to be teaching in a classroom. That is, if you're not already teaching as a teacher, if you want to pursue a career in teaching. Otherwise, over the course of 2 years, it's a rigorous program, and you develop critical writing and thinking skills that really fit any field that you're interested in joining. We have flexible scheduling of courses, so we have evening classes. We offer at least 1 online course each semester. And then, of course, we have summer courses, and summer courses are varied. So you can, depending on your schedule and your learning style, I'm sure you'll find something that interests you. For instance, we have a 1-week learning institute. That's for students who don't have the time. It's an intense, students typically will meet either from 10 to 4 in the evening, or 4 to 10 in, if it's an evening course, or sometimes we always have 1 online course, and then we also offer courses that run from 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month, depending on the faculty's interest. And of course, most importantly, I think you'll find it's a rewarding program, it's a fun program, but also a program that really prepares you to accomplish your career and personal goals. So I'd love you to join, and if you're interested, please come and meet me. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, and my personal email, kaur@wpunj.edu. You can also speak to the graduate program office here and be in touch with us in a variety of ways. As Brian just mentioned, we are having an open house on that schedule for the 26th of February. So if you're interested, I invite you to join the open house, come meet us and get to know us better. Brian, I'm going to turn this over to you now for any parting thoughts. Thank you. Thank you all for listening in.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, if any of you joined us late, I wanted to stress that we did record this presentation and are going to be making it available in its entirety on our YouTube channel in the near future. You will be receiving an email with that link, so do keep that in mind if you need to refer back to anything or joined us late and missed any slides. Also, as she mentioned, I want to stress again that we do have an open house coming up on February 26th. If your schedule will allow, we'd love to have you here on campus. We do have a beautiful campus in a very convenient location. We want to make sure you have the opportunity to meet Dr. Kaur in person if you are interested in learning more about the program. So make sure you keep that in mind, circle the date on your calendars. Lastly, if you do have any questions, I would encourage you to type them in the chat box there. We will go through. I know we had at least one or two come through, so I will jump right into it. Dr. Kaur, if you're ready,
Yes.
I know you mentioned, I saw it on one of the slides earlier, but could you elaborate a little bit further on online courses, how many are available, and also how they're integrated into the curriculum, how it sort of ties into a student's experience for the English program?
Well, we offer online courses, again, for flexibility's case. Most of the student body that we have, graduate students, are working students, so we offer an online experience. So at least one course every semester is an online course, and we set the schedule a year ahead. So you can really plan out your schedule of courses for the year and see what courses are going to be offered and which of them are offered online. You can, meet the faculty in advance and also talk to them about that. I know that, students have different learning styles, and some actually prefer online courses, not just for their flexibility, but it's also because, they find all the information, they can read and go back to it rather than a live lecture. So it depends on what your personal style is. And in the summer, as I said, we make sure to offer at least one online course. So you actually can be taking courses and advancing in the program throughout the year, not just the spring and fall semester, but also the spring semester. Thank you.
And then I know when looking over one of the slides earlier, there was reference to the thesis specifically, and in passing there was a brief mention of a workshop associated with the thesis. Could you speak a little bit further about the thesis workshop and about the support system that's in place for a grad student who's working on their thesis for either of the two concentrations?
Well, yes. Every semester, both in the fall and the spring, I organize a thesis seminar workshop that I conduct. And basically, the thesis seminar workshop is to answer all the questions that students who will be, eventually doing the thesis seminar to answer all those questions. So, for instance, you're supposed to give in a declaration of intent a whole year before you actually attend the thesis workshop or register for the thesis, sorry, not the workshop, but the thesis seminar course. That's for us to think about who you want as your advisor, for you to start thinking ahead of, well, what is it that I want to write my thesis on? Who are the faculty that I'd like to work with? And then I also, so at the thesis workshop, I give each student a folder that has all the relevant information. I also include sample thesis research proposals. The research proposal is usually handed one semester before you actually register for the thesis thesis course, and your thesis proposal then gets reviewed by the graduate committee, which sort of deliberates on it and advises the student about perhaps things that they could build on, things, books that they could read. Have you thought about this question? Now, that's very interesting. So we have a model of what constitutes a thesis research proposal, and I also include sample research proposals from students in previous years that have been particularly, well thought out, so on and so forth. So that's once a year, and for instance, right after this webinar, I am going to be conducting the Thesis Seminar workshop for the spring semester students. I have about 8 to 10 students who are attending. Not all of them will be registering for the Thesis Seminar next semester because they're still early in the program, but they just want to find out ahead, so they'll be attending. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody is welcome to attend that workshop, whether it pertains to them or not, because eventually they will be registering for the thesis seminar in order to, finish the degree.
And then just to sort of intro into this question, I know on our campus there has been some changes implemented quite recently for the application process for the grad assistantship. But for a student who has an interest in the idea of a grad assistantship and the possibility of it serving as a way to, as you mentioned before, make graduate education more affordable, can you speak just a little bit further to your experience with grad assistantships within your department and just in general, any advice or otherwise for a student from either concentrations who might be giving it thought?
Yes, if you're thinking of applying to the graduate program in English here, I strongly advise you to apply for the graduate assistantship as well. Typically, till this year, the deadline for the graduate assistantship used to be April 1st, and you had to put in a separate application. Since then, this year, we have streamlined the process so that you can indicate your interest in applying for the graduate assistantship at the time of your application, your graduate application itself. You just have to tick a box that that indicates that you'd like to be considered for the graduate assistantship. And typically, I have 2 graduate assistantships who help me out, both me and the MFA coordinator, Dr. Paris. And things that they do for us are, things that I think give them professional exposure. So, for instance, for Dr. Paris, writing concentration majors help him with, MAP Literary, which is the journal that the MFA produces. For me, for the literature concentration, usually I'll work with the literature concentration graduate student, and he or she helps me with, the department newsletter, with the thesis workshop, any assistance that I might need administratively, sometimes research projects with faculty. We also place graduate assistantships in other departments at the university, and depending on the department or the office that you're placed, you can have any, n number of different kinds of experiencing, learning skills that I think will help you in your career world outside. Typically, graduate assistants work 20 hours a week. They get a tuition waiver as well as a stipend of $6,000, and really it makes it very affordable, an affordable way for students to be doing an MA in English at William Paterson University.
Thank you very much. I believe that wraps it up for our questions, at least as of right now. I just want to stress I will be on hand. If you do have any other questions that pop up, do feel free to type them in the chat box, and we'll make sure that we get them answered for you. But that concludes the formal part of our presentation. Again, on behalf of the Grad Admissions Office and certainly the MA in English program, I can't thank all of you enough again for taking time out of your schedule to join us. I know life is busy, schedules, there's a lot going on, so we thank you for choosing to join us today. Again, want to stress we are going to be sharing this recording further down the line, so if you want to refer back to any of this information, certainly keep an eye out for that. And then again, one last plug for our open house on February 26th. We'd love to have you there. I know Dr. Kaur would love the opportunity to speak with you further about your interests, and otherwise we hope to see you on campus soon. And certainly if you haven't started an application yet, we hope you do tonight. Thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful evening.